Claire, do you want to introduce yourself and exactly what you do for everyone?
Yeah. Okay, thanks for having me. Lovely to speak to you this morning, John. So yeah, my name's Claire Morton and my company is called L&D NLP Consultants. I started off about 3.5 years ago after leaving the corporate world of HR and training after 20 years, set up my own training business to go into corporates and organisations to deliver leadership and management, coaching training and mindset and customer experience training. All of my stuff that I do is like behavioural, and it's all about getting mindset, changing mindset to change behaviours. And then since what happened with COVID at the beginning of the year, all of my face-to-face work disappeared. So I decided to go with what I wanted to work on, something that I reflected on last year, and that was with coaching
Claire,
men.
just before we jump on too fast, that was a big jump there. So after 20 years, you
Yes.
suddenly decide you're going to have this change. I don't believe these things just happen instantly. What was going through your mind that made you want to change?
Yeah. So I worked in public and private sector since leaving school, more or less, after a little bit of travel. And I worked in QVC, the shopping channel, for 15 years, and I absolutely loved working there because the ethos in there was very much about culture, values, teamwork. We had a lot of training in there.
And of course, shopping.
Shopping. We did have a staff shop where we got loads of discount, which was fabulous as well. And I just loved it. And it really, as a positive person anyway, it took me up to like a next level of, oh my God, all of this stuff I'm learning is amazing. And I just wanted to share it with people. But obviously, you know, you share certain things and certain stories with some people. They're like, oh my God, you know, you're so positive, you know, don't be too positive because there's loads of negative stuff going on in the world. And I'd be like, yeah, but, and I'd be dead like enthusiastic, yeah, but if you do this and you can do that, and some people will get put off.
I'm sort of reminded there's a story there, Claire, where that comedian, forget what it's, the dark hair fellow with the curly hair, and he talks about American positives, and you know that in the end, after a few months, it sort of gets on your nerves because it's in your face all the time. You know.
I totally get that, and I could become aware of that and it was like, oh my God, I don't want to like force this onto people, but I am so pumped up and energized anyway. Where do I need to take this energy? So new position came up in First Arc, which was known as Knowsley Housing Trust years ago.
Okay.
And it was all about transformation of culture of that workplace. So I went in as an L&D business partner there to help people culture and turn it into, obviously, making sure that they had the right leadership training, that they had the right attitude and the right values. And it was like going from QVC, which was all happy, clappy, great stuff. Don't get me wrong, there was stuff that went on in QVC, but we spoke about it and things got sorted without blame. Goes into this different environment, and it was very much a blame culture, and it was all about turning that round. So I learned so much in that 4 years that I was there, from a HR perspective, leadership perspective and coaching perspective, and it was amazing, my time there. And then but there was like two restructures in the 4 years that I was there, and my team in the HR team got cut from 4 people to me. And I was doing like 70-hour weeks, running projects and coming home and shouting at the kids. And I was like...
So that was really the catalyst to change. A great experience, but you had this catalyst and you had to change. I mean, one thing I'm aware of now, Claire, is that you work in a particular niche. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that niche?
Yeah. So left work, set up L&D, as I said before, and set up my training business to go into corporates. But what I noticed was last year, which is leading me on to the niche bit, is with private clients and with my coaching programs and executive coaching, I had coached quite a lot of men, and I got better results through coaching. Well, the gents I was working with got better results through me coaching them, more so than women. And I just feel, because of personal relationships and personal friendships I have with men over the years, I know how much men can suffer in terms of mental and emotional health they do have emotions, even though some men say that they don't.
Yeah, of course.
Do
I'm interested, Claire. I'm interested in this thing. You know, you said you had more success with men. What was it that you felt? Where was the success that you're having with the men that you weren't sort of experiencing with women?
So when a man would come to see me with whatever he wanted to work on, so I work with a gentleman on all aspects of life. So whether it's a business coaching, whether it's relationship coaching, whether it's personal and spiritual, emotional, mental stuff, they come to me with what they tell me that they want or they need to change, and they changed it. They opened up, they got stuff off the chest, they were very open. They've said that they could be more open with me emotionally as opposed to being more open with a man coach, or the mates, because in case they got laughed at. I also would have, I'm dead down to earth. I'd have some banter with them, and I'll tell them when they need to get their act together, and just speak to them like they'd speak to me, but know that I'm there for them to help them and challenge them. And then there's so many women coaches out there for women. I've got my coach is a woman, and she's amazing, and she coaches loads and loads of women. And I feel, women are really open, aren't they, to talking about how they feel. And women are also very busy serving other people. So when I found that coaching gentlemen, they would come to me and they'd feedback to me on what they'd done. They'd get results because they'd be quite focused on that. Women, and I don't mean to generalize it, but some of the women I was coaching are all over the place in terms of they're doing too many things that their own self-care and self-development would go on the back burner. So you'd give them points and say, okay, what have you done this week? What have you done differently? Oh, I haven't had a chance because I've been doing this and been doing that. And it was men just said that they were going to do stuff, and they did.
Okay, well that's great, Claire. So you found your niche,
Yeah.
and it sounds like it's been a good journey for you, because you've had this point of discovery where you could sort of use your talents and have greater effect. And I think that's great for anybody when you have that sort of vision and able to move forward. So I'll tell you what, how would you feel now if I was to say to you, I'd tell you a little bit about the type of thing that I would, so people get a feel for the way you sort of respond and how you help them. If I was to say to you about a particular issue that I'm having, and you sort of talk me through it, how would you feel about that?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I'm very aware of is approaching sort of late September and late October, because I know the night's something going to go dark, and I love the sun. I love the long days, but contrast to that, I hate the dark nights. And I really have to work hard to motivate myself during these 5 months, because I just don't like them. So how could you help somebody like me?
Okay. So first of all, I mean, the good thing is you're aware of it. So you know that you don't like the dark evenings, okay? So I would be asking where that has come from. Is it something that's where has this, and if you listen to the language that you're saying is, you said, I know I don't like the dark night, and I hate, and then I have to work hard to get through the 5 months. So we'd be looking at the language that you're telling yourself. So you're already speaking it, saying that you hate it, saying that you know you hate it. So then you're reinforcing that thought and that belief to go, I hate it, I dread it, I hate it, oh, it's coming. So it's about getting into that thought process, looking at the language of what you're saying to yourself, looking at the reasons where this has come from, usually something from a past experience, or whether you think it's come through genetically, through the family, from your dad or your mom or whatever. I'm just breaking that connection. We do some exercise. All about, with most of the work that I do, it's all about getting past the conscious mind, getting past the analytical mind, the mind that takes us through our daily life, the one that looks after us. It gives us logic and it gives us reason, and we run our life by that. However, we've got our subconscious minds, that all of the programs of whatever happened to us in our lives, and obviously before birth, it's all stored in us somewhere. But
the only thing I can really think of now,
yeah,
it sort of springs to mind, is that on the approach to well, we used to call it mischief night. I mean, it's not called that probably.
Mizzy night, we used to call it.
And Guy Fawkes night, and
Yeah.
Christmas, and during those months, me and my mate, like we'd have the Guy Fawkes out, or whatever. Like we'd stay out there in the bloody cold. And for some, as a younger person, I look back now, it seemed colder, and it doesn't seem as cold as it is now. I don't know whether that's just in my imagination, or there's some truth in what I'm saying, but it does seem far colder now. But we would hang out, and our hands would sometimes be raw, or we'd carry on carol singing. God knows, I think people just paid us to move on, to go. But we'd carry on carol singing, me and my mate, until we got £1 each.
Yeah.
God knows. I won't carol sing for you. You're all right, Claire.
That might be why. That's traumatised you, your own carol singing.
Do you think my own carol singing? You're spot on. That's what it is. Yeah.
I get that. I do think that, because when as kids, we did used to hang outside. Kids hung outside on the streets, didn't we? And we played out all the time, and it did seem colder then. So I don't know if there is any truth in that, but when you think of winter now, it doesn't seem as freezing and painful and cold as it did when we were kids.
I don't think so.
So you've gone back then to thinking of a time when you think it. So maybe we take you some down the timeline of your life and take you back to where you first thought that you had that horrible feeling, and the feeling that you say that you don't like and you hate, and so would you think that asking you now, I know we're not in a proper session, but does that take you back to the earliest times when you didn't like
it's a recall that I have immediately. It's the immediacy that comes back to me. We're just having this conversation now, that's how I sort of think about it, So and possibly, the other thing was, it was either mischief night or duck apple night. I don't know if you remember that, but it was, it's just a cold, just a cold, and I suppose not being able to go out.
Yeah, so it'd be asking you then to go back into that time when you felt, and go back into the for you experience and that, and seeing it through your own eyes, so that you're actually in the moment and feel how you felt at that time, and what were you thinking, what were you feeling. And then so you're in the moment and you're thinking it, and then there's loads of different techniques that you could use to say, okay, now come out of that experience, come out of your body and float up above the body, so that it's as if you're watching you in a movie on that cold night of being cold and in pain and listening to your own carol singing. And then you can there's different ways you can say, okay, so what did you learn from that situation, and what can you, so it could be, if you're looking down at yourself in that cold situation on that dark night, what is it that you can take from that? What learnings can you take from that? And probably stuff would come up as part of it is that you want to be able to protect yourself from the cold and the dark nights, which may be why you feel like now when you look outside and it's a cold and dark night, you look at it and you say, oh, well, I need to protect myself from that cold and that dark night and that awful singing. So there's learnings that you can take from it, and then you can say to yourself, okay, well, those learnings were great for protecting you at the time, however, they're not helping you right now. So then it'd be about reframing what you're thinking of that, and getting you to think of things that do make you happy, and then changing that thought of a dark, lonely night into switching it into a really nice,
a more positive image.
So it's all about
I'm glad you said that, Claire. I was rather nervous that you might suggest that we had to go carol singing together, So I'm glad you suggested that. Yeah. Okay.
It's all about changing, because everything that happens to us, we take it in as a snapshot, as a memory, don't we? And it goes in, stores into our subconscious mind, and that is where we run our lives from. And so they say 95% of our lives are run by our subconscious mind, and only 5% is the logical mind. So, and the conscious mind. So it's about getting past that barrier of the analytical mind, getting into your subconscious mind and going, okay, when was that? What do I need to change about that? What thought am I thinking about that situation? Or, dark night, right? I need to change it. I need to refocus. I need to reframe. I need to replace it with a good memory. I need to replace it and make it bigger and brighter and make it look better for me. So take me off to a sunny place, whatever works for you. So then you're starting to change the pathways in your head, and then little synaptic connections are made, and you basically reprogram your brain by having different thoughts, because everything
it sounds like I need to come and have a few sessions with you, Claire. That's the reality of it, to sort of help me move forward with where I am. So Claire, look, thank you for your time. And if people need help from you, how can they contact you?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, so you can follow me on Facebook. That's usually the easiest one, just Claire Morton. I've got a website. I've got actually 2 websites, but I'll give you the current one for this, obviously for gentlemen, and it's thepurpose-pusher.com, and they can contact me through there, or I'm on LinkedIn as well as Claire Morton, NLP coach and yoga teacher. But the easiest one probably to remember is Facebook, Claire Morton, and then all of my social media links are on there.
And none of me Carol singing.
I might have to get one. We'll have to follow you around, won't you, with a camera. Let me know when you're going on a Christmas night out for December, and I'll bring my phone, maybe do some carols.
Well, Claire, look, thank you so much for your time. More importantly, thank you so much for your advice. It's really appreciated. And I dare say we'll speak soon.